It's safe to say Bitcoin continues to grab the attention of many. It even begs the question, is Bitcoin still even worth buying leading into 2022? Currently, only about 15% of the world's population is aware of Bitcoin, and it will continue to grow with each passing day. The search growth on Bitcoin on Google Trends shows the amount of interest in this digital currency over the past few years. After months of research, these pieces of information is what helped me build more confidence in this new technology, and it helped me decide if Bitcoin was going to be a part of my wealth building strategy. Created in 2009, Bitcoin has become one of the most valuable assets, taking several by surprise and outperforming every other asset class. If you had invested a single dollar in Bitcoin back in 2011, today it would have been worth a whopping $57,000 at the time of this recording. Now, to determine if this is a worthwhile purchase, we first have to understand the basics of Bitcoin and how it works. In the most condensed way possible, here is a brief explanation. Bitcoin is a digital currency that you could obtain through a brokerage and store on a digital wallet. The other way to obtain Bitcoin is by mining, which requires resources such as electricity to power strong computers that will figure out these complex mathematical equations, which would then compensate the miners in the form of Bitcoin for their hard work. Since we're on the topic of mining, another function that these computers are doing is verifying transactions while preventing fraud for those purchasing and selling Bitcoin. This network of computers have checkpoints better known as nodes, where the information is confirmed to be accurate. This makes it significantly harder to falsify information since the blockchain can determine if it's been tampered with once it realizes that one of the nodes is holding false information. By verifying with thousands of other checkpoints, it keeps tabs on all transactions accurately. Because of these computers and network, we don't have to depend on a single entity or government when it comes to our money. Bitcoin, along with other cryptocurrencies, offer the benefit of anyone being able to take a part of it as long as you have access to the internet and a smart device. This makes it affordable to transfer money whether it's internationally or locally, and has little to no maintenance fees, unlike the traditional banking system that we are accustomed to. This has the potential to be adopted by everyone worldwide and potentially distribute wealth in a more equal manner while providing opportunity to those abroad. However, that's a topic we'll save for another video. Now that we have that out of the way, let's talk about how you can make money and figure out if you should buy Bitcoin. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, only about 15% of the world's population is currently aware of Bitcoin, and it continues to gain popularity each day. When Bitcoin was created by Satoshi Nakamoto, it was only intended to ever produce a total of 21 million Bitcoins. Today, there's about 18.8 million Bitcoins in circulation, meaning that there's still over 2 million Bitcoins to be mined. Part of the reason behind its valuation is that mining is becoming harder every 4 years when Bitcoin slashes its rewarding system into halves. This means it requires more miners and resources to generate a single Bitcoin. It's because of this simple yet complex system that it's become more difficult to get a hold of, and it drives up the price. Today, there's not that many companies that accept crypto as a form of payment. However, the few companies that do accept crypto prefer Bitcoin over any other digital currency. Moving forward into the future with self-driving cars, remote classes, and drones delivering packages to our front doors, the idea of digital currency doesn't sound all that crazy after all. For years, we have been relying on our credit cards to pay for online goods and services. Without even realizing it, we have already been indulging in this idea for quite a number of years. When I started considering as to why and how Bitcoin could potentially become the future money of the world, I started looking back to when we first switched from gold and silver to the dollar. We were looking for a more efficient way to carry around money while still being widely accepted to purchase whatever it was you needed. It wasn't until 1794 when we eventually moved on to the dollar. And well, this happened because it fit the bill. Because as a collective, we had came to an agreement that this paper dollar would have value. It became our national currency and allowed us to conduct business with all kinds of people. Bitcoin too has this potential. Bitcoin has been continuously on and off of the news, gathering attention and creating an uproar worldwide, to the point where our governments cannot help but acknowledge its existence and try to regulate it. This right here was a massive eye-opener for me. If it was to be regulated, that means that it truly does have a world purpose, and by creating guidelines, we are slowly but surely moving towards a digital currency. Believe it or not, regulations, just like taxes, are overall good. It creates a system we could depend on. The way wealth is most often built is by holding assets in high demand and holding them for extensive periods of time, in addition to the slow creep up of inflation. As the United States printed over 25% of its national currency within these last 2 years, several have started to notice the price hikes on groceries, housing, and services. Previously, most would hedge against inflation by placing their money in either silver, gold, or even the housing market, but that no longer cuts it. The modern man is looking for a modern solution, and there are huge signs pointing to a decentralized currency free of governance. In the middle of 2021, the country of El Salvador became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as its national currency, and it is now funding the building of a new city called La Libertad, which translates to freedom, on the ocean side of El Salvador. Not only will this give the people of El Salvador the opportunity to prevent cash theft, but it will also allow the government to tax more, as employers can now pay its employees in Bitcoin. Over 20% of the money in El Salvador was actually sent by Salvadorians working abroad in the United States. A good portion of the money being sent gets handled by an intermediate which charges transfer fees, but now that El Salvador made Bitcoin its second currency, this could help reduce those costs and allow its people to receive the money without needing to pay a hefty fee and gaining instant access to the funds. Even though Bitcoin is not considered to be an investment, it is definitely viewed as a vehicle to grow one's wealth. As scarcity helps Bitcoin obtain its value, it's also its volatility. There is a huge potential for growth as large corporations continue to see its value and start buying in. It's become more than evident to me that this may be a good strategy to implement to grow one's wealth. I myself plan on allocating anywhere between 5 and 10% of my net worth into this asset class to give myself the best exposure to its upside, but also not enough to have me lose sleep over it if it were to instantly disappear. Bitcoin presents a lot of opportunity, especially for those that allow their money to sit and can handle extreme volatility. There is so much more to gain than there is to lose. Similar to stocks, where you could purchase fractional shares, you too can purchase small quantities and dollar cost average into Bitcoin over time. So whether it's $10 or $100, this could perhaps be the opportunity several in the middle class and lower class have been looking for to change their family tree. So because of its proven system, the possibility of worldwide adoption of Bitcoin, and the constant milestones that it continues to break, it was definitely a no-brainer for me to consistently dollar cost average bi-weekly into Bitcoin. I'd love to know in the comment sections down below if you plan on purchasing some Bitcoin or if you have already started investing. If you are getting started, you could find several brokerages like BlockFi, Binance, or COINBASE to make your purchases. Personally, I use COINBASE as it has an extremely easy to use interface and allows you to keep your crypto wallet on your mobile device for easy access. I have left a referral link down in the description box which you could use to earn $10 worth of Bitcoin once you buy or sell $100 of your local currency within the first 6 months. You could also purchase Bitcoin on Robinhood, however, it doesn't currently offer a digital wallet, meaning that you don't truly own the Bitcoin, but rather have bought the rights to follow the market. If you don't mind not actually holding on to the asset in a wallet, this may not be the worst idea, as Robinhood does provide monthly statements which could make your life a lot easier when you're filing your taxes at the end of the year. But I know that at some point Robinhood does intend to create a wallet so you can store your digital currencies. You could also find a link down below in the description box where you could receive a free stock valued up to $500 for signing up. I hope you learned something new, and it would be phenomenal if you could smash that like button and share this with a friend, or why not even both? I would love you to infinity and beyond. I hope you are staying safe, and happy holidays, my friend, and I hope to talk to you again soon.